this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we are talking about our 1111 energy portal. That's right, today we are talking about our energy portal. Now, a lot of people get this one confused with like seeing an angel number 1111. So they have somewhat of the same meaning, but not exactly the same meaning. So 1111 energy portal is really about kind of opening up kind of energy planetary wise, where 1111, if you see it on the clock or you see it on the date all the time, or sometimes it's people see it during meetings or on billboards or something like that. They'll see it over and over again, and that's kind of more of an angel message just for you, where the 1111 energy portal is kind of for everybody in a good way. So let's talk about this. It really is, the 1111 is kind of like standing in a doorway. So what would you want to do differently in your life? Kind of what would you want to take that one big step forward into in your life? So that's kind of what we really talk about, of opening up this portal energy. And it's not like we have to open it up. It's planetary wise. Like I said, it's kind of the planetary energy opens it up, and then it's up to us to walk into it or take a step back. And that's kind of our part of it. What do you want to do? Do you want to step into it, or do you want to step back and away from it? Totally your choice. It doesn't mean that it's good or it's bad or anything else, because for many, many, many years, I didn't understand any of it, and I never took advantage of the energy. I would feel something sometimes as I was starting to understand more and more energy, as I was getting older in my walk on the kind of the psychic side of life. But this is kind of one of those, this portal is all about transformation. What are you willing to transform? What are you willing to take from one thing into something else? And I think the best part of this is kind of like, one is like a new beginning. So that sounds really great, but we have one and one and one and one. So it's kind of like this huge portal of energy of, what are you ready to start over? What are you ready to kind of move into that new energy of? What is it that you're ready to kind of empower yourself to make new choices, new intentions, new decisions, and move into? Because a lot of times people say, oh yeah, I'm all into this and I understand it, but they don't ever step into the energy of this and kind of like, okay, I'm willing to do this. Because a lot of times they don't, because they're afraid that they're going to get a backlash, or they're going to get something that they don't understand, or they're going to get into something like, oh, now I have to do all of this, or I have to do all this extra work, or I have to account for this, or whatever it is. So that's kind of the fun part about it, is you really don't have to deal too much with that end of it. What it is opening up to this 1111 energy of, what are you ready to transform in your life? And there could be some work on it, but usually there's not too much work on it. But it's really, the work on your side is more setting the intentions, making the choices, and moving forward with all of this. 11 is also known as a master number, and it's usually a symbol of like blessings, faith, or insight. And a lot, like I said, a lot of times people consider it like an angel, like one of the only angel numbers. It's not just one of the only angel numbers, it's just one of many angel numbers. So angels come with us with so many different blessings of bringing this energy in. The alignment of our ones is bringing us the power to our senses, and kind of like activating it in us, of activating like, what do we want to see? Where do we want to sense? Where do we want to go with all of this energy? And your angels and guides are always talking to you about kind of like, what do you want to do? Or how do you want to deal with this? Or what do you want to work through? And that can be the fun, interesting part of, where do you want to go with all of this? Where is it that you want to go with this energy? And the 1111 is really kind of like an energetic sign that you can easily move into something else. So many times people will say, oh, I can't create that, or I can't do that. You can, if you choose to. And so this is kind of like our planet Earth and our sun and our moon, to kind of like, what would you want to step into? What would you want to change in your life? What would you want to modify or upgrade in your world? And that's kind of the interesting part. Kind kind of stepping in this energy is really like getting in communication with your angels and guides. What are you ready to step into? What are you ready to choose differently? Or what are you ready to start that you haven't already started? That's kind of a great way to think about it, and kind of noticing as you make those decisions and as you make those choices over the next so many days that we work through this. It's kind of like, what do you want to bring forward? What is that blessing that you want to bring forward? And I always think of it as like not just a blessing for me or one person, because we bless so many other people. When we bless ourselves, we bless our spouse, the people we're connected to, our kids, our family members, our friends, all of them get blessed as well. So it's not just like, oh, here's one blessing for me. There's blessings for other people as well. Now, you can't necessarily open the portal for them, or you can't use that energy for them. It's one of those, you have to use it for you. And that's kind of the good part. Because if they're really into it, then they're going to be already in that energy and ready to open up. I will tell you, 1111 also kind of really represents a balance in our lives, kind of symbolizing like our harmony of what we're ready to step into. And it kind of maybe even kind of like the easy part of it. So many times people are like, you know, right is good, left is bad, or whatever it is. And not necessarily that way, but it's kind of like, what are you ready to walk into? And asking for what you ask that you really desire in your life. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about next, is kind of like, what is it that you require in your life? I think a lot of times people will think about this in a couple of different ways of, I want to bring in, you know, usually the simple answer is money. Everybody's like, oh, I'll bring in money. Sometimes money is not the answer. And a lot of people are like, I know. Because a lot of times people say, you know, well, if I had $1 million or $2 million or $1 billion or whatever it is, that would save all of, you know, save me over all of this stuff. I would be able to buy my house outright. I would be able to pay off my cars. I'd be able to pay off this debt, and I'd be able to do this. The thing is, though, money is usually not the answer. There's something else in there. Sometimes it could be how you treat money. If you don't treat money well, money's not going to come to you. It's kind of like if you treated someone in your life really bad and someone else saw that, they're going to be like, I don't want to do anything with that person. Like, they don't treat people well. And that's kind of the way money is. Money can hold that up for us. So if we don't treat money well or treat it with respect, it's one of those, more money doesn't want to find us. So kind of what is it that you're really looking for in your life? Kind of what is that invitation that you would like to, yes, I want to bring you into my life. What is it that you want to open that hand into and kind of like, yes, come into my life. I want you in here. So kind of one of the things that we're going to talk about next is kind of like, kind of opening up this portal of transformation, this 1111 portal energy. And how do we do this? What are some of the things that we should be thinking about in all of this? So one of the good things is kind of really listen to your angels and guides, and kind of like, what is that meditation? Where do you want to be with all of this? What is it that you want to kind of meditate into? And getting into meditation ahead of time can really help amplify this energy, and kind of decide for yourself, what is the best for me to bring in? What is I really require in my life? And really thinking about it. Writing down those intentions. What is it that you really want for yourself? And I often tell people, get really clear, because a lot of times people will say, well, I want a free house. Okay, that sounds really interesting. Well, what kind of house? Where do you want the house to be located at? So maybe you live in Houston, Texas, kind of close to where I live, but your house is manifested in Denver, Colorado. That's not a good thing. So get really clear. What is it that you're trying to manifest for yourself? If you're trying to look for a relationship, if you're trying to look for that kind of life partner or that sort of thing, like, what is it that you're looking for in that other person? And don't say generic things like, I want them to be nice. Really? Nice has so many different definitions, because if we just talked about it, what is nice to me may not seem nice to you, or what you think is nice may not be nice to me. And so that's where you have to further define the word nice, or the word handsome or beautiful. what I may think is handsome, you might go, "Oh, not really." That's why you have to get really clear with this energy of kind of what is it that you are choosing to create. Is there something in your career that you want to create? Is there something in your country that you want to create? Maybe there's something in your state that you want to create. What is that? Get really clear about what does that look like? Not how did it get there, what does it look like? Next, this is kind of really a neat part, is kind of opening yourself up to kind of really hearing the other side. I will tell people you'll usually hear things in threes. You will hear the same message from 3 different people in your life. You will hear the same message in 3 different songs. You may find yourself noticing angel numbers like more of 1111 or 1212 or 333 or 444, whatever it is. Like you'll start feeling those numbers and kind of seeing them everywhere. And that's kind of like, look those numbers up. What are your angels trying to get across to you? Because sometimes it's like, okay, we have this move to this part. Now you have to do something before we can move ahead. So that's kind of the get this right the first time and get this going in the right direction so you're ready to move forward as quickly as possible, so you're ready to like, yes, I've got this all in the right direction. I will tell you, like, once you start writing down your affirmations and that sort of thing, using the best possible power words you can is really important. And so that's kind of like, where do we go with this? And using them as I am statements are really positive as well. Kind of like, I am, and fill it in, or I am whatever it is. I am choosing to move my position at work, or I want to be this title, or whatever it is. Like, you need to really get really clear. If you are choosing to bring in money, like I said, a lot of people do that. Money is an okay thing to bring in, but it's one of those, try to do it with a sum first that you can believe. Because if you believe in your mind that, you know what I'm saying, like, I could bring in $1,000 and your body goes, then it's hard for your body to believe that, which means you're not going to do it. So if you start with sums that you can believe, then it's easier and easier to kind of amplify that to get more and more larger sums. So what is believable to you? Because a lot of times people will say, like, I want to win the $1 million lottery. That's great, but if you can't believe you can manifest $1,000, most likely you can't manifest $1 million either. So really start thinking with some numbers that are accurate for you or believable to you in your system. That kind of makes it really interesting. I will tell you, kind of really thinking about a goal that you have. Maybe it's getting a new home or moving to a different area of the country or whatever that is. Kind of really get into that. And then once you can kind of manifest it, kind of almost like you could walk through it in your mind. Like, when I open up the front door, this is going to be on the left, this is going to be on the right, this is the way this is set up, this is the way that is set up. Being able to walk through your house in your meditation is really powerful. And so many times people really kind of go, I want a new house, but they don't say anything else. So it's kind of like, what house do you want? Do you want an RV, a mobile home? Do you want a house on foundation? Like, what is it you need, and how do you want it set up? So that's something that you really have to get clear about before you're ready to move forward. So I know this is tons of information for you. We are going to do some angel cards, but one of the things I will tell you is kind of one of the secret things is make sure that you have a great meditation. I will link this to a great 1111 meditation, one that I absolutely love and use quite often when I'm trying to manifest something for myself. So let's do some angel cards here. I've got a couple of these popping out in a couple of different areas. Literally, I have one on this side, and one over here. So let's do some angel cards. So the first one is the card Chiron, and this is all about healing. This is really a powerful one. Chiron is a asteroid for healing, kind of like our self-healing. So what is it in you that you really require self-healing for yourself? What is that you require to do for you? And a lot of times people will manifest money or cars or trips or whatever it is, but they really don't manifest their own healing. So that could be something to kind of bring this up, really important. Next is the card Pisces, and this is all about our senses and kind of opening up. What is it that you really want to manifest? What is it that you really require manifesting for yourself? And I will tell you, that's kind of an interesting question for most people. Getting into the energy, getting into what you want to open up into can be a very powerful meditation. And opening up this energy, not only for that, but for you as well. And not just thinking about the quick thing, oh, I'll bring in $1 million or $1 billion or whatever it is. Really think about what you require manifesting. What is it that you want to transform with this energy? That's the really cool part. Okay, so the next one is the moon, and this is our perception. And our perception is always changing, just kind of like our moon, because a lot of times people only see our perception as one way. You may think, oh, money will fix all the problems, but it usually won't. So our perception has to change so we can get what we really require to transform. So really think about that one. Really like, okay. This is Neptune and this is vision. We have to open up and see this in our mind's eye if we ever want to see it in the world. Opening up our mind's eye of what do we want to bring into the world? What do we want to transform and bring in with us through this gateway is going to be very powerful. And we have to be able to vision it and see it very clearly. This is the 10th house and this is the authority. You have the authority with everything that comes in on the 10th energy. What is it that you're ready to transform? What is it that you're ready to make different or change so you can bring all of this energy in? This is progressions, and this is about the journey. Actually, I was with some friends this past weekend, and one of the things that she said was her favorite one is the destination is never as important as the journey. And it really is. The journey that we take to learn things are so much more important, so much more kind of like, what is it that you really want to do? And the journey is everything. The journey around on Earth, the journey as we kind of dance around the sun and the moon dances around us, kind of that's the journey that makes a difference. The journey that you have your friends and family with you on is kind of the best journey ever, and really honoring that and honoring what you bring to this world with your energy and your intentions. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.